Hi, I'm at the Monterey Plaza Hotel and Spa, allegedly on a business trip. And today is April 19th, 2021, and I wanted to talk about something in my novel, The Pyre. April 19th is the date in 1775, if I've got my dates right, when the British and the militia at Lexington and Concord exchanged shots and started the Revolutionary War. And this book is written with, it's a novel, but it's written with reality and real motivators in mind. It's basically written as a warning. Because what started the American Revolutionary War, in my opinion, was the disinformation and contempt that the British, in Great Britain obviously, or as colonial officers, and the colonial Americans felt for each other, engendered by their mutual behavior and engendered by media, so fake news. So they grew to hate each other, and it wasn't anything that needed to happen. They could have been nicer, they could have been kinder, they could have worked it out. After all, they had just finished a decade or so earlier fighting what we call the French and Indian War, in which they had been great allies and worked quite well together. So between that war, say 1755 and 1775, relationships totally disintegrated, egged on by the media and egged on by radicals on both sides, the radical royalists and the radical Americans. Didn't need to happen. Would have been better, frankly, in the long run, easier if it hadn't. I'm not saying the American Revolution didn't produce good things. I'm just saying that the war itself need not have happened. Anyway, at Lexington and Concord, the whole thing was a mashup of fake news. The British Marine Major Pitcairn came out there expecting to find great quantities of cannons and ammunition and scattering terrified colonists, and instead what he got was a militia of French and Indian War combat veterans ready to party. So, misinformation number one. They get there, shots are exchanged at Lexington, retreat, the British pursue into Concord, and the Concord militia is standing there waiting, and then they see a fire. It's a house fire, and they perceive that the British are burning the town of Concord. So at Concord Bridge, they attack. For the first time, the Americans attack. They attack the British. But the house was a house fire. The British weren't burning it. In fact, some British soldiers were trying to put it out. Misinformation, disinformation, manipulation. And we get the American Revolution. Right now, April 19th, 2021, we got the same thing going on. We're fighting a war against, I don't know, what do you call them? Mass shooters, insanity. I happen to be a competitive rifle shooter. I do think that some measures can be taken, but not gun bans, not gun confiscation. That's absurd and will lead to the kind of contempt that the British and the colonials had for each other and the kind of violence that we've seen before. So, this book, available on Amazon. It's a fictional book about real issues. Are we going to do this again?